Okay, so this is a quick practice for a client who has pressure in the optic nerve or spinal fluid building up, impressing on the brain, causing brain or head pain, jaw pain, tunnel vision, dizziness, things of that nature. And this particular client also happens to be pregnant. So I'm going to avoid any forward bending of the head. We will do some rounding in the spine to help with posture, but other than that, everything will be safe and not contraindicated for pregnancy or for things like glaucoma, retinopathy, high blood pressure. And so I should add that if there is any hypertension or hot days where the blood pressure is high, that I would probably avoid a lot of arms over the head. So we're going to do just a kind of a quick practice to drain fluid and to relax the mind and body. So go ahead and sit in a chair. And this is not a yoga practice for fitness. This is a yoga practice with I hate to say medicinal, but a purpose to how it affects the physiological effects of the body. So closing the eyes, sitting and breathing and feeling your breath. Exhaling, shoulders back and down. And just take a moment to notice where you are in your mind, your literal space, the feet touching the floor. In your mind, see the floor, the walls, and the ceiling. And this helps you notice where you are, and more importantly, it helps you notice where you are not. So as your mind starts to wander to the past or the future or things you need to do, bring it back to following your breath. Or I like to use a word. We sometimes call this a mantra, but it could just be a word like joy, peace, calm, healthy. So breathe in. Exhale completely. So we're going to diaphragmatically breathe now. Pull your seat back, your buttocks, so that you're on your sit bones. Sit tall, eyes are closed, and feel your sit bones against the chair. As you inhale, find your internal lift as if you're being pulled by a string from the back of your head. As you exhale, roll your shoulders back and down. Turn your palms to face up. We call this receiving position. Breathing in, expand your belly, your ribs, and your chest. Exhaling, empty your chest, your ribs, and your belly. Breathing in, fill your body with your breath, expanding your low back, your back ribs, your back shoulders. And as you exhale, feel your shoulders contract, your ribs, and your navel to your spine. Empty in the recesses of your lungs. With each inhalation, we're expanding the lungs up and down, front and back, side to side. Diaphragm expands and it displaces the lower abdominal organs. And as we exhale, we empty the chest, the ribs, the belly. And then we're going to inhale and extend up through the head, and we're going to exhale and just gently lengthen the back of the spine, keeping the neck long without taking the chin too far forward, just a hair, so that there's no pressure on the optic nerve. And softening the skin around the scalp. Soften the muscles of the eyes as if they would feel as if they were going behind the cheeks. Allow the jaw to relax, the tongue to soften. Feel the front of the neck get long now. Breathe in. Exhale and soften the root of the tongue. Allow the shoulders to soften back and down. Collarbones are wide. Elbows hanging underneath the shoulders, palms up, fingers curled. Feel the rise and fall of the belly, the length in the low back. Allow a sensation of softening of the skin and the muscles around the bones of the femur, the top leg. The softening around the joints of the knees, the calves, the ankles, the feet. And then slowly begin to open your eyes. Okay, let's do a little joint freeing here. Avoiding looking down, big breath in. Exhale, look over your right shoulder and hold and breathe. Inhale back to center, looking over your opposite shoulder and hold and breathe. Inhale back to center. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Taking the left hand and letting the fingers hang down. Breathing. And normally when you do these poses on your own, pick a few during the day that you can do and hold them for 30 seconds each. We don't have a lot of time on this little video, but ideally 30 seconds is going to give you more benefit. Work up to that. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the opposite side. Let the fingers hang. We're going to do about 10 seconds on these today, and then just pick a few every day and do them anytime, anywhere. Getting synovial fluid moving through our joints, knowing that motion is lotion, and inhaling back to center. Big breath in. Exhale, look over the right shoulder, shifting the eyes in the direction in which your head is turning. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side, shifting the eyes in the direction that the head is turning. Avoid holding your breath, just continue to breathe. And then coming back to center. Good, okay. Now we're gonna work on the shoulders. So inhale, bring the shoulders up. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, bring them down. We're gonna circle 3 times forward. 1, breathing naturally. 2, and 3. And 3 times back. 1, 2, and 3. Good. We're going to take the arms out and we're going to just simply bring the hands to the bra line, out, in, right there below the collarbones. We're just getting joint movement. Good. Good. Now arms out to T, or I'm sorry, not T, palms out to, I always call this stop in the name of love, or 10. And squeeze and flex. Squeeze and flex. Squeeze and flex. Now begin to make circles, and you're going to start to maybe feel a little heat happening in the body, and that's because we're holding the arms up, and then do the opposite side. And so this is a little bit of strength training too, because you're using your own weight. Okay, now we're going to take the hands down and turn the palms to face forward. Big breath in. Exhale, touch your shoulders. Inhale, exhale. And I'm just trying to get movement in the joints to get the fluids pumping in the body. Inhale, exhale. Good. Now, because the particular client that we're addressing here is pregnant, we don't want to do any spinal rotation in the belly, just the thoracic spine, the upper spine, and the neck, just because we don't move a lot like that in our daily life. So we're going to take a big breath in. And we're going to exhale and take the right hand to the side of the chair and the left hand across the body. Big breath in. Exhale, and just, in this particular case, just my shoulders are moving. My navel is staying forward. Breathing naturally, looking over the body. Inhale back to center, bring the arms up to level, and then exhale here, just the torso. Navel, my navel's right there, and I'm looking back. Not too much here, especially with a pregnant woman. And then back to center. Good. Again, if the blood pressure is high, leave the arms down. The lateral stretch would look like this. We'll do one without arms, one with arms. Big breath in. Exhale, laterally leaning over to the side. Inhale up, laterally leaning to the other side. Okay, now we're going to add arms, and this is my preferred way as long as everything is normal. Arms go up, take up lots of space. Big breath in. Exhale, lean over to your right, lowering your right arm down, getting lateral movement in the spine. We don't move like this during our normal day very often, so it's really good to get lateral movements and thoracic spinal movements, twisting. It keeps the mobility of our spine healthy. Inhale up, exhale over to the other side. And so just take these practices and do them a few times, anytime during the day. Do this full practice a couple of times a week. Inhale up, exhale down. You could do it every day. So sorry, Jameson is my partner in crime up here, and he's a rat terrier, and so he is a barker. Arms go down. Inhale, look up just a little bit, breathing in, roll your shoulders back. This is cobra pose or cow. Exhale, and we're rounding, keeping the face forward in this situation. If you're watching this and you're not pregnant, you don't have spinal fluid or pressure in your eyes, then you can look down. But here we're just rounding through the shoulders, and we can lengthen through the back of the neck. If it feels good, you could round the back, and I'm going to turn to the side a minute just to hit the parasympathetic nerve in the back in your back. It also runs up through your neck, and that helps you go into rest and digest. But in this particular situation, we're going to keep the neck long. We're going to inhale and bring the chest forward. Exhale, round through the shoulders. So you'll see I'm rounding through the shoulders, I'm rounding through the back, but I'm going to look forward. Now, normally I would look down. Don't do this if you're pregnant or have spinal fluid or pressure in the eyes. But in this situation, we're going to look forward. So breathing in, chest is forward, shoulders are back. Back is going like a cow would sit. You know, if you've ever seen a cow spine, or it makes a valley. And then exhale, rounding, making a little mountain with your spine. Good. And then inhale, come to center. All right. So we've done forward and backward bending, lateral movements left and right, and twisting left and right. And those are all the directions that the spine goes in. It's important to move your spine in all 6 directions. Forward, back, lateral left, lateral right, twisting left, twisting right. Okay? That's 6 movements. That gets your spine moving in all the 6 directions. So if we have spinal fluid building up, this is a good way to make sure that the spine and the vertebrae are all getting moved every day. Now, we're going to do a few hip and leg movements because we have a lot of synovial fluid in those joints. And so I'm going to ask you to simply take your right leg and bring it up. Of course, if you have a baby in your belly and your belly's getting big, you may have to take it out to the side, and that's fine. You can hold on underneath the thigh or the shin. This stretches the low back and the parasympathetic nerve without having to take the head down. The parasympathetic nervous system is rest and digest, which is healing. Sympathetic nervous system is fight or flight, and that takes the blood away from the internal organs. And there's a purpose for that, but you don't want to stay in it all the time. Take it down, big breath in. Exhale, take it up. And if at any time you're doing poses and you're listening to this and I'm talking, breathe naturally. Okay, holding it up. So through the practice of postures and meditation, we can go into a parasympathetic state that often these days only happens when we're sleeping. And so our body can start to heal even when we're awake. Good. Now I know you may not be able to see me here, but we're going to take our feet out above the ground, and I'm going to put my feet up just for a moment, and we're going to point and flex, and then we're going to circle both ways. So just sit back in your chair, lift your feet a few inches off the ground, and point and flex. And I'll use my hands. Point and flex. You can add hands if you want. Point and flex. Now we're going to circle the ankles and the feet. Good. And then we're going to go the opposite direction. Good. And then do crazy feet or hands. And this is good for your cognitive ability, for your neurotransmitters. Ooh, your pathways, your neural pathways. Good. Now, we're going to take 3 breaths. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down. Again, inhaling up. Exhaling down. Now, for the sake of this video, I did about a 5.5 minute meditation in the beginning. So what I would suggest to you now is to just sit with your eyes quietly closed. Set your phone for 5 minutes, 3 minutes to 5 minutes to 10 minutes, whatever you want to do. Use something like Insight Timer on your phone, or some just gentle music, or a guided meditation. Another thing that I've done is I have the book Journey to the Heart, or The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty. You can use devotionals, whatever speaks to you. The Upper Room is one that we often had in the Methodist and Presbyterian Church, and I would just read one of those, and then I would sit quietly with whatever the lesson was for about 5 minutes. And so it's not really, so I'm in the South, so I'm going to just say this because this applies to many people in the South. It's not really your prayer time, though I know that is very comforting to people. Meditation is more your listening time. So if you're a person with a religious belief system, and most of the people in the South are, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use that time to listen quietly, just to be centered on something that you can focus on, a word, a thought of meditation, a feeling, or a picture of something that's serene in your mind. So turn this off, and in the future you can turn it off when I start talking, and use this time to sit quietly and meditate for 3 to 10 minutes. Alrighty, thank you. Oh, I wanted to add one other thing. So this particular person, this is very important. Now, I set up the bed for this today. I hope you can see it. All right, this particular person I want to have, because she's pregnant, it's important to get blood flow to the baby. So every day, put your feet up, sit back. Now, and anytime you're pregnant, you don't want your head below your heart. And I would even probably go a little higher with the feet on this particular pose to allow blood flow to travel back to the baby. And very important. And then you could do your meditation here. And 5 to 10 minutes a day for optimal blood flow back to the baby. And it would also allow the blood volume, rather than being straight up and down, it would go more towards the back and down. And if you wanted to, even if it was comfortable, to lift and open the neck and close the eyes, this is really good for thyroxine, for your hormones. So, and they have found that part of pseudotumor can be related to adrenal problems. So this posture here, opening the thyroid, pressing on the thymus, and it's massaging the adrenals in the back, it's really good for regulation of cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So just breathe and relax. All right, hope that was helpful.